Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So, I finished up on Apathy, and I figured I'm going into my next book, so I figured I'll just start from the beginning on my editing process. So, this book, all of my books have been edited already, but it was years ago, and um, this was also me learning the difference between an editor and a proofreader. So some people call themselves editors when they're really proofreaders. Editing, there's a lot of different stages to it. There's line editing, there's different types of editing, and you need all of them. You need someone who's going to edit your story for the structure. The whole grammar stuff really doesn't come until the very end. And to be quite honest with you, it really editing costs a lot of money. For example, a developmental editor, a decent one, I believe it's about $50 an hour. And $50 an hour, they could spend hours on just one chapter. So, you know, it does cost a lot of money, and to get a really good, like, full, like, all the editing your book needs, depending on the word count. So let's just say your book was about 30 to 35,000 words. It really costs about $1,200 because you have to pay all these different editors. And when you're first starting out, or like me with self-publishing, I've been self-publishing for a while, but I don't publish in a mainstream genre. And so, and I spent more time writing than focusing on the marketing side. A lot of times we're not that into the marketing end of it. We're more into the writing. Like, I love to write. I love to create these stories. That's where I get my joy. That's where I get my stress relief. So I'm not so great about saying getting into the marketing side of it. I'm now trying to do that. So, but to do that, I for me need to have my books where I want them to be, meaning like editing wise and storyline wise and all that other stuff. So, and how I want my book to look. So that's why I'm revamping all of my books. And right now I am now on this is the fifth book in my endurance series called Codex, um, the Being of Karma. And so, yeah, I paid for this to be edited two times. So, as you can see, I use Pro Writing Aid, and Pro Writing Aid is giving their grammar and spelling a 50%, style and score 75%. Now, this is the thing. I'm going to see what they say about the grammar and spelling. Like, what are they saying? What they found wrong? I could already see a lot of problems right here. Begin to open. Like, that's just, yeah. I would say this is too wordy in here. I need to really cut that down. So, apparently, angels is spelled wrong. Let's see. I don't know what's wrong with this word. Oh, no, it's a comma. Okay. So, that's a grammar. So, this is a lot. So, it's going to take me some time. There's 40 chapters in this book. I think I am going to focus on literally maybe one or two chapters a day, or I might just do. It's gonna take me a whole month though. I actually do think it's better because what I do now is I also check the developmental editing, and so I'm checking for the story structure, the storyline. Does it make sense? I'm doing something kind of nutty with this series and a spin-off. So I'm creating like a web of characters, a web of stories. And one of the spin-offs from this book that I'm working on now from this series is called The Chemistry of Love, because I'm using a character from this book. So I have to actually carefully scrutinize what goes on with her character, because I actually changed her storyline, and made it like she time traveled. So it's a whole. I mix genres, so I write science fiction, fantasy, romance, spiritual warfare. Like I like to mix and combine the genres. So I'm a multi-genre author. So now I need to go in and just like polish. I'm really looking to polish. Now that I've spent the time to learn the things that I need to learn about writing and editing and all the stuff, I've been doing this since 2009. I've learned a great deal and I'm continuing to learn. But at least I know enough now to bring my stories up to where I will feel comfortable giving these to people. and so that's what I'm trying to do. You're always gonna be, as long as you continue learning, you're always gonna learn more. You're always gonna learn more techniques, and that means the future books will probably even be even better, But at least when people go back and they read these books, they won't be horrified with the grammar and the editing and all that. So that's my goal, to not horrify readers. Like they read a book that I wrote recently and they're like, go back and like, oh my gosh. So that's what I'm working on. So right now, I'm debating on if I should follow my technique. My technique is to edit 10 chapters a day. And it sounds like a lot, but I have to think about how I do it. Is basically I'll put in the 10 chapters and then into Pro Writing Aid, and then I only focus on spelling and grammar. So I go through all 10 chapters just focusing on grammar and spelling, right? And then I'll take a break. I'll see depending on how I feel, I'll take a break or whatever, and then I'll come back and then I work on weak verbs. Take a break because weak verbs are actually not that hard. Then we'll deal with the dialogue tags. And I like to reduce my dialogue tags greatly as much as I can. I try to be more descriptive. And so that takes some time dealing with this section here. So it's 1, 2, 3, these 3 here. And then I don't have any motion tells. That's very good. Very good, very good, very good. All that is good. So then it's the glue index. But right now, like what I would do is grammar and style. After I get through grammar and style, and then in each one, I still go back and forth, and because you're gonna have grammar issues in between dealing with all this stuff, like fixing that stuff and changing, whatever needs to be changed. So, and this book is kind of complicated. Like I have to be very, very, like, make sure it's very, very clear, because it can get confusing about who's speaking, because I have a lot. I write there's a lot of characters in this series. So this family has they are just like doubling. They're just popping out babies, So the family's growing, and it's a lot of them. So, I have to keep it clear, like who's talking, who's saying what. So for this series, I still use said and asked. In my smaller books, for example, my book Toxic: The Double Cross, I experimented with not using any dialogue tags. So that book it should have no dialogue tags, okay? It should be none. But I don't mind doing that for the smaller books where it has less characters, but these books where it has a lot of characters, I really can't do that. It can get very confusing as to who's speaking and who said what. So just to keep in mind, if you write a book that has a lot of characters, but only stick to said and asked. Don't get too creative with. Don't get creative with those dialogue tags. Just said and asked. That's it. And then try not to have too much said. Like you don't want to, like, Tim said, John said, Fred said, it sounds kind of annoying after a while. But that is, so this is just the first chapter that we're going to dive into, and I am going to try to bring you updates um, every day. I'm going to just show you like the new thing. So right now what I'm going to do is go back in and put in all the new chapters for this. So the first 10, and that's what I'm going to focus on. And then we're going to move on. I think I'm going to stick to that. If I do that 10 a day, it should take me, I would say I'd give myself 7 days. I'd give myself a week, because sometimes I have to do so much work on one chapter, and I don't believe in like, don't force yourself to write or edit when you're starting to feel tired of it. Take a break. Take a break. You did enough for today. Take a break. Because what happens is you end up, your mind starts getting lazy. You start making stupid mistakes. You start just making lazy mistakes, just because you just don't feel like being bothered. So don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your book. Take a break. So that's why I say I could probably edit this in about 7 days. That gives me some room for taking more time on one section than the other. But I'm dividing this into 4 sections because it's 40 chapters. So I'm doing 10 chapters a day. Right now, I'm actually just going to set up the first 10 chapters. And then I'm going to work on the grammar and style today. That's my only focus for today. At least for now. This is the early part of the morning, because it's still morning right now where I am. So, and then I'll take my break. I have some appointments that I have to go to, and then I'll probably come back in the afternoon and then look at the week verbs. So this 10 sections, actually, I might have to give myself more time. I might have to give myself like 2 weeks, because that alone, like it might take me 2 days to work on this, 2 or 3 days to work on this section and the first part. So maybe 2 weeks. But you want to rest in the middle, because you need to give your eyes a break, because you will start to overlook things. So I try to take a lot of breaks, but I'm the type of person where I'm driven. So I'll take a break, and then it's like, even while I'm breaking, I'm thinking about the story. Yeah, I got problems. So I'm really liking Pro Writing Aid. I actually got the Lifetime, and I did a Lifetime, and I did another upgrade to it recently. I think I can't remember what I did, but I really like Pro Writing Aid. I like Grammarly too. I was a huge Grammarly user, but I found that for me, Grammarly more focused on like nonfiction, business writing, technical writing, which is fine. This has, hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's on romance. So here you have business, academic. I use this for all of that, So, oh, they even got script. I didn't even know they had that. So and then they have all these different genres. So, spiritualism. That's probably what I should try doing it under. That's interesting. Let's try that. So that's probably right, because this book series is under, it's a spiritual warfare. So I think putting it under spiritualism probably be better. But yeah. So this is me just starting out. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted throughout me editing this first 10 chapters. I'm not gonna bore you with me putting them in, because it takes a while to put them all in and organize them. But that's what I'm going to do now. And I will be back when I start the actual editing process of doing the grammar and spelling. So I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.